Every so often we get a little heads up that a new product is on its way, something coming through the pipeline. Well, I heard about this pod months ago and now it is finally here. Let's take a look. And so here it is, the Lidsters Fishing Supplies all aluminium rod pod kit, born from a collaboration of Lidsters and none other than Summit Tackle. This is the type of thing that anglers dream of. We've got that sleek black aesthetic, exceptional UK craftsmanship, and of course that tried and tested design that comes from the 𝗏𝗏 pod. As I said, this is the type of pod that anglers dream of. Now I'm going to break this video down into 5 smaller sections just to make sure that you guys get all the information that you need to know as to whether you want to put this into your angling. So first things first, what exactly do you get in the kit? And as we expect from the guys at Lidsters by now, basically you get everything you need and a little bit more. But before we delve into the pieces that are included, we need to talk about the bag that it actually comes in. This is not an afterthought that's just thrown in with the pod as a sort of, here you go, have a free bag type situation. This is a specifically designed pod bag, which is padded and toughened to make sure that this pod is protected while in transport. The last thing you want to do is spend a load of money on a fancy pod and then ruin it on the way to the lake. Inside, firstly, you will find 4 uprights, 2 large and 2 small. The larger ones go from 170mm up to 220mm, the smaller from 85mm up to 100mm. These enable you to change the angle of your rods and can be swapped front to rear in case you want to fish tip up or tip down. The choice is entirely up to you. These are then used to basically secure your buzz bars in place. Next, you'll find 4 6-inch twist lock bank sticks. Now these in this scenario are being used as the pod legs and once again are height adjustable, enabling you to angle the pod however you see fit. Next, you'll find a pair of adjustable buzz bars. Now these are available in either 2-rod or 3-rod options. You can basically just pick the ones that suit your fishing the best. Me personally, I'm normally fishing with 3 rods, hence I've gone for the 3-rod versions in this scenario. And of course, as expected, you get the actual pod base. Now, as I said, these buzz bars are adjustable. The front one is slightly wider than the back one, just to give you that nice gentle splay on your rods. The front one extends from 255mm all the way up to 390mm, while the rear ones go from 230mm up to 360mm. So there's plenty adjustment both on the front and rear buzz bar, and that just enables you to tailor the gapping to the reels that you use. When it comes to the design of this pod, it is instantly recognisable as a Summit Tackle creation. It is almost identical to that of the 𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗹𝗿 pod. Anglers have been using that pod for years and years now, trusting it to offer the security, the durability that they all want for their setups. And as far as stability goes, this pod is no different. It is as solid as a rock. When it comes to visuals, this pod is a thing of beauty. That stealthed out look is still very popular in angling, and this certainly ticks all of the boxes for that. The satin black finish on this pod makes it look like it should cost an absolute fortune. Luckily it doesn't, but we'll get onto that in just a little while. As you look around the pod, you notice more and more details that are really finely machined. The whole thing just screams quality. Now let's be clear, I am fully on board with the totally stealthed out black look, but a little hint of colour every so often isn't always a bad thing. Whether it's a set of brightly coloured bobbins or matching the LED colours on your alarms or some coloured whipping on a set of rods. Sometimes it is quite nice to have something that stands out a little bit. And that's why these pods are going to be available with different coloured thumb screws. So you can have the option of red ones, blue ones, purple ones, or my absolute favourite, a very nice green colour. If you don't want your pod to look like everyone else's, why not just add that hint of colour and make it stand out? 𝗏𝗏 have been manufacturing some of the finest bankware for years now. It's safe to say they know a thing or two about quality. The works of art that they create are known throughout the fishing world to offer strength, reliability, rigidity, all while giving you something that's rather nice to look at while you're waiting for the fish to bite. The Lidsters Fishing Supplies and 𝗏𝗏 all aluminium rod pod kit has been designed, developed and crafted right here in the UK on home soil. It still offers that strength, that reliability that everyone craves, but in a very lightweight and agile package. The full corrosion resistant aluminium build means that you get that outstanding strength and long-term reliability, all at a fraction of what a stainless steel pod would weigh. At the moment it seems to be very popular to be slimming down your kit and only take the absolute essentials. However, if a pod is one of those essentials and you don't want to miss out on that versatility, then something like this is going to make a real difference in your kit. The pod itself comes in at just 1.1 kilos, and once you put it into the bag, it still only weighs just 2.3 kilos. It's absolutely nothing, and by the time you've got it on your barra, you won't even know that it's there. Whether you're fishing in the UK on tight, small swims, or you're out in Europe fishing inland seas where you've got acres of space for a swim, you'll be pleased to know that this rod pod kit is very, very versatile, and you can basically tailor it to whatever situation you may end up in. The twist lock legs offer adjustment to the very base of the pod and can be slightly sunk into the ground to offer an even stronger purchase. You then have the adjustment on the uprights. Now this is primarily used to get the tips of the rods in the position that you would like them. If you want to put them up, not a problem, easily done. If you want to get them down, again, not a problem, easily done. These work on that same twist lock mechanism, which offers a nice secure hold once that adjustment has been made. The buzz bars are then placed on top of the uprights and locked in place with the twist lock thumb screws. These also enable you to actually tilt the buzz bars should you need to. So if you're fishing with your tips right up and you want to sort of angle your alarms over to make sure they're still working efficiently, that's not a problem. Simply twist that thumb screw into place and it will lock everything down solid. No tools, no fuss. And as I said, the buzz bars are also width adjustable and are suitable for pretty much any set of reels that are on the market. The centre bar can also be extended, once again using that twist lock mechanism, and gives you even more adjustment, even more versatility. This pod is all about offering you as many options as possible while carrying the minimal amount of kit. When it comes to pricing, this is a bit of a weird one. We've got a premium level rod pod built on home soil in the UK using some of the finest materials available. So normally that screams a high price tag, but these pods are available exclusively at Lidsters Fishing Supplies. And we all know that Lidsters like to look after carp anglers, no added carp tax. A pod like this would normally retail between sort of £380 and £400, which is a massive amount of money. So when I tell you that these come in at just £219.99, I think it's safe to say they are an absolute steal. Not to mention the fact that if you order before 2 PM, you can get next day delivery and there is a free delivery option available. Honestly, I don't know how the guys at Lidsters keep doing it. They surprise me every single time that we do one of these videos. Once again, they've left me very, very impressed. Make sure to pop onto the Lidsters website for any more information. There's loads of info about this pod, but also there's a whole host of other really great items. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. It really does help the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, make sure you hit that bell icon, because the last thing you want to do is miss out on any more uploads just like this. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much.